Hi, and welcome to this first in our AI 15-minute series where we're hoping to give you something useful in each 15-minute or under video about AI tools or other aspects of AI. In today's video, we're going to be covering Google's AI Studio. So you can get to this by typing in aistudio.google.com. So firstly, what is this? So this is Google's user-friendly web-based interface to its large language models. So think of this as Google's equivalent to ChatGPT. Now, as you can see, the interface itself, if you're used to ChatGPT or something similar, it's actually quite different. It's quite a bit more, for want of a better word, busy. There's certainly a lot more options on here. But for most people, we can come down here and you'll type in a prompt. You can say, write me a song about winter. Hit enter. So when I do that on ChatGPT, my response gets sent straight to the model. Here, do I need to take my hands off the keyboard onto the mouse and click on run? Well, that's one way, but I find that wastes time. So what you can do, you can just hold down the control key and hit enter again. And there we go. There's our response coming straight through. Looking quite good. So let's moving on swiftly. I'm going to clear this output here. And if you can notice up here, we have a system prompt. So a system prompt is a way, it allows you to direct the output of the large language model. It gives it a persona. So whatever the user then types in further down below as a user prompt, the output is directed by what's in the system prompt. So for this particular one, we're going to give it persona of a marketing strategist. And then I'll leave that up there for you to read, but then I'm going to ask it a question, or certainly send a prompt. In this particular case, we're going to ask it to write a short marketing email announcing the launch of Project Zenith. And as you can see there, it's directed, or the output is being directed and made to look like it's being produced by a senior marketing strategist. So you can put lots of different types in here. So system instructions can actually direct and actually produce very tailored output. So moving swiftly on, clearing chat here will actually clear out everything except the system prompt. So I'm just going to select that. I'm going to delete that. So in fact, what I should have done first, or before showing you that, I'm just going to write me a song about summer this time. Oops, here we go. Right. Unfortunately, an internal error has occurred. So we could type back down here. What you can do up here, you can actually click on the edit button, and I'm just going to change this up here, hit Control Enter, and hopefully this time, there we go. There's our output. I'm not so interested in the output here. What I am interested in here is showing you this option up here called Get Code. So if you click on that, we can actually make calls directly to Google's large language models without using this interface. So we can actually code this directly from our IDE or our programs. Everything we need, we can just copy and paste this. The only thing you do need to get is a Google API key, which is straightforward to get. You can click on this Get API Key, and you can actually retrieve one, paste that in there, and run that. If you click on the drop down here, you can actually see you can get the code in multiple different languages. So great for those that are working in languages other than Python. The great thing about Python here though is you can actually open this directly up in Google Colab just by a single click. I'm not going to dwell on that in this particular video, but it just allows you can do everything you want to, and then you can extract that into your code base. So you can call it directly and remotely. Moving on down here, what you'll notice is we actually have a drop down here. So these are all the models that this interface allows us access to. So these are Google's models. So the Gemini models here are their open source models you can use here. The other thing, when you hover over these, it actually tells you the output the cost associated with each of these. What I intend to do down here is actually I'm going to go down to here. I'm going to use the Flash experimental model. So these are new and these are free at the moment. What you will notice here is the token size. So this is the amount of information that we can place in the prompt. So a token size of 1 million tokens is huge. This is equivalent to several books worth. Talking about several books worth, let's actually just clear that out. So if you come down here, you can see the plus button. We click on that, you can upload different types of files. So let's upload a file. So let's come down to here. I've got a very specific document I'd like to use. Here we go. So this document happens to be the EU's AI Act, which consists of 140. It's a PDF of 144 fine print pages. So I'm just uploading that. It's currently extracting the information. Now we can ask questions of it. So write me a summary in 10 bullet points of the main aspects of this document. So it's going away, it's analysing that, and it's using to answer that the document I've actually input. And you can actually see it's quite a large document. That's 174,000 tokens, which is quite large. It's still thinking about it, so it's taking its time. It's understandable. It would take me a long time to read a document consisting of 144 pages, all in small fine print. Right, and here comes a summary. So it's gone through, analysed 144 pages. It's now produced me a summary. So purpose, the Act aims to improve the internal market. Great. Fantastic. How about, okay, write me an engaging LinkedIn post of under 300 words about this EU Act. I want to get maximum traction with my post. So once more, let's see what it can do for us. And here we go. Here's the output. So it's actually given us different options. It's also given us relevant hashtags, so we can actually have those, and hopefully those will actually bring us greater traction, certainly as far as viewing figures are concerned on LinkedIn. So great, you can ask and do a Q&A session in this document, but now I'm actually going to clear that out. I'm going to move on. So coming down here, I'm not going to look at structured output. I am going to go down to code execution here though. So I might look at structured output on a different video later on, but structured output. So code execution. So there's certain questions that the model may not be able to answer directly. But one of the great things it can do, it can actually write code, run the code, and actually use that for answering questions. So here, I'm asking it to generate a list of random adjectives, then choose one at random, and then use that within text. So it's taken that out. It's actually created a list of adjectives here. It's then picked one at random. It's then output that code. So here's picked one of those at random. It's then used that. Perfect. So it wasn't able to actually answer that directly, but it's written some code, it's run that code, and it's answered the question. Fantastic. Just turn that back off again. I'm going to clear this out once more. Function calling, again, I'm not going to cover that in this call. It's a bit more detailed. I will do a separate video just on function calling, I think. I'm going to move down here to grounding. So one of the things with large language models is they are time constrained or time boxed in the fact they've been uploaded or trained on a huge corpus of data. Now that data as soon as it's been used, it's old. The model knows nothing about anything that's happened after the cutoff date for that data. So what you may want to do is you might want to find out something that's happened after that, or maybe there's some certain papers being published or news. So one of the things you can do here, you can actually use Google search to retrieve information which is then fed in. So in fact I'm going to turn this off first of all. Let's pass this request in. I'm going to have a request here for who is the Prime Minister of Canada. So the current Prime Minister of Canada is Justin Trudeau. Okay, great. So just so you're aware, this video has been recorded on January the 8th, 2024. So let's turn on grounding now. And ask the same question again. So, so while Justin Trudeau is currently still the Prime Minister, he has announced his resignation as party leader. So this is coming back with very new, relevant news. In fact, this news is from 2 days ago. The other thing it does do, it tells you the sources of that data. So it's give you some citation there, so you can actually click in there and you can actually see what the Google search suggestion was as well. You want to click on those. So perfect. So this actually allows you to ground it, provide additional information to answer any questions. So moving swiftly on, I'm not going to cover anything else on the right hand side here. I'm going to move over here onto the left hand side called Stream Real Time. So this allows us, there's different options here. We can talk directly with a Gemini model, but even better than that, we can do something called share your screen, and we can actually talk directly and ask it questions about a screen. So here, Gemini, can you give me an analysis of that page I've just shared with you?
Sure, the page you've shared is the Google homepage. It includes the Google logo, a search bar, a microphone icon, and 2 buttons, one labeled Google Search and the other I'm Feeling Lucky. At the bottom, there is information about the country the user is in, and also links to several other Google pages like advertising, business, how search works, privacy, terms, and settings.
Can you give me suggestions on how this page could be improved?
Sure, some suggestions to improve the Google homepage could be adding a customizable background or theme, incorporating personalized widgets with quick access to frequently used tools, and perhaps adding a more prominent visual indication of new features or updates. Would you like any more suggestions?
No, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Brilliant. So that's actually really good. This particular example is very simplistic. What you could do this is actually share, let's say, a video to a site that you're trying to, or a site you're trying to use or set up, and maybe you've got some errors on it. So you could actually talk through those errors, share that tab, and actually help or have the large language model analyze and review the errors and try and help you resolve those. So fantastic. One last thing before we actually close this call out, I'm going to go to Prompt Gallery. So Prompt Gallery gives you a huge number of examples of different ways of using the large language models. So we can click on a couple of these. So let's have a look at a maths worksheet. So generate a collection. So this should have actually generated that. It hasn't, but we know we can click on that and hit enter again. Here we go. Straight away, another example of things you can do. Let's have a look at what else we've got here. Code optimizers, TripAdvisors, marketing. Actually, there is one more thing I actually want to do. In fact, show you another example. I'm going to go back up to here. I'm going to upload. In fact, well, let me just clear this out. So we should have something here called upload file. So let's go again. You do sometimes get upload image directly there. So I'm just going to upload an image here. Here's the image I wanted. happens to be a picture I've taken of one of my bookshelves, my bookcases. Not a great picture, but what I would like to know is wonder what books are on there. So extract the titles and authors of the books shown in the image. Let's see how it does with that. 2 seconds later, I've now got a list of books. Not only that, it's told me actually, first of all, it's doing shelf by shelf, so it's going left to right as well. Some of those are obscured, so again, some of those where it can't make out the author, it lets me know. It's not every single book there. There are certain ones missing, and it may be down to the quality of the photo. Some of the spines are actually faded, so I may not be able to read it. But again, amazing achievement. In 2 seconds, I've been able to extract and get a list. Now, what else could you do with that? So, in fact, how about that in table format? Let's see what that produces. So here you go. In fact, so it might be easier to actually spot authors. I've now got the whole list by title and by author. So as mentioned, it's meant to be under 15 minutes. Hopefully it's just snuck in under that. So thank you very much for your time, and hope to see you next time.